1 second. Just getting the announcement of the stream out. I'll be right there to explain the deck. There we go. That should do it. Okay, so Grixis Control, also known as the deck only Corey Burkhart seems to win, right? Like, so this deck is kind of strange in that, I mean, we're really playing a deck that's been championed by one player in Corey Burkhart. This is his list from Grand Prix Oklahoma City, and he keeps doing well with it in Modern. Like, he keeps posting like pretty good results, doing well every tournament, very often top 8ing, if not like coming finals or winning. Like, he just does very well with this deck, and this is like his deck, just so for sure here. That said, like, what is it actually about? What's the strategy? What's the plan? So, as far as I can tell, this is a command deck. You run 4 Kolaghan's Command and 4 Cryptic Command. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to essentially use early cantrips to make sure we're hitting our early land drops, disrupting what our opponent does, usually through this combination of Fiddle Pushes, Lightning Bolts, Terminates, and then, you know, building up to our Kolaghan's Commands and our Cryptics, which can either disrupt what our opponent does or destroy everything they have. There's a few key one-offs, such as Damnation, that help really clear the board. So, the main addition to this deck is that Corey cut the 4 Ancestral Visions that were run here and ended up running 2 Search for Iskanta. Essentially as the card advantage engine. Search for Iskanta is an extremely powerful card. And it's starting to see more and more modern play as time goes on. If it wasn't legendary, it would easily be a 4 of in a lot of modern decks. But because it's legendary, like, multiples are awkward. So often it's like maybe 2 free of. Free of is actually pretty rare, but it wouldn't surprise me if down the line people ran free searches if there was a way to, you know, get rid of additional copies. So that's what the deck is kind of about. It just tries to get to its commands and then recur them with Snapcaster Mage. So usually the first Snapcaster Mage is going to buy back like a value spell, like a Fatal Push or Lightning Bolt or Terminate, just to kind of cement the board, make sure that your opponent isn't killing you. And then later in the game, you're trying to change Snapcaster Mage with both either Kolaghan's Command or Cryptic Command. So with Cryptic Command, you can say counter a spell and bounce the Snapcaster Mage back to your hand. Just like Snapcaster Cryptic is extremely powerful for a number of reasons. You can also Snapcaster Mage with Kolaghan's Command, so your first Snapcaster Mage probably dies at some point, or gets milled by Thought Scour. So then you Kolaghan's Command, doing like whatever mode, and then getting back Snapcaster Mage. And then you play Snapcaster Mage, flashing back Kolaghan's Command. And like you keep this chain going, basically. Just getting more Snapcasters and more commands. Eventually what you're trying to do against a lot of decks is on their draw step, run out the Kolaghan's Command, so that when they're empty carded, like you basically decline them a draw step, and you're essentially time walking them turn after turn after turn after turn after turn. Not necessarily the case with all the modern decks. Some, like for example, Collected Company is a good example of a spell that doesn't really mind the Collections command. So you might have to like go for a different strategy, but it's a possibility and it's a key part of the deck. Otherwise, it's a free color deck because we're not Death Shadow and damage, and we are looking towards the long game. Damage is a problem. So we're playing more basics. So we're playing free islands, a mountain, and a swamp. So we definitely don't want to take as much damage for land. So unlike Shadow, which you might see me play, I'm more often going to get a basic land just to not take damage. But we do have free 4 cryptics as well. So the key part of this deck is disrupting what your opponent does while planning for the triple island, like the triple blue scenario. Post board, just a variety of cards. You're playing a tricolor deck, so you get a bit of everything. There's free surgical extractions, which is a little more excessive than most, but your games go long, so you do need some kind of graveyard hate. And since your deck is a Snapcaster Mage deck, that's where you want to be. At least as far as Corey is telling us. I like at least one in a lot of matchups just to see what my opponent's sideboard plan is when it's not obvious. Otherwise, we have a few more Wrath effects in Anger of the Gods and Damnation. There's a Luminous Defeat for Shadow matchups. Very important addition, actually. Then we just have key one-ofs in Dispel, Ceremonious Rejections, Collective Brutality, Fulminator. Honestly, I just want to see what the deck does. We're gonna give it, we're gonna put it for a spin. That's basically all there is to it. So let's go in competitive modern, and we're gonna join a league with Grixis control. We're at 20 play points. And we're good to go. The games are probably going to be long because a lot of the times we're going to win with Snapcaster beats and then like finishing the game with Lightning Bolt and Kolaghan's Command. Key part of how this deck is going to win is going Bolt, Snapcaster, Bolt. Right, so we have double search first Canto, which is awkward, and no black source, which is also awkward. And we are on the draw, which is a third awkward. So this hand is not necessarily a mulligan because search is very powerful, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think we can do better than this. I think this hand has too many kinks and problems, so we're gonna mulligan this hand. This hand is pretty bad on other levels. This is only good against controller mid-range. We're gonna mulligan this too, which is awful. We're gonna keep this bottom equal against command. The Earth Sand might have been a keep, but like based on how good search is, I didn't want to take the risk. If our opponent leads on Delta, our first hand was actually incredible, most slightly. Okay, our opponent's probably on Shadow here. I think the other interesting part compared to a lot of these decks is this deck doesn't run Thoughtseize, which is something I just realized now, which is very strange to me. But we're gonna run it and see what happens. Right. Yeah, Blood Grip being our land also means that 1 mana cantrips are bad, so we're gonna just play this Blood Grip, tapped and pass. But we're in real trouble here. Could have been our hand at 7 was okay. I'm pretty sure our 6 was bad, but yeah. Oh, this is probably like the combo deck with Pentat Prism. So we're actually in pretty big trouble here. Well, we're in trouble anyways. I don't think it actually matters on the matchup. Like, basic Mountain also rearing its ugly head. I think at this point this is the only non-blue producing... I think these are the only 2 non-producing blue lands in the deck. Let me double check. Yeah, that's kind of a dagger. Well, okay, there's a basic Swamp too, I guess, technically. So here, I'm a big... Because our opponent's deck is probably this Emrakul deck, I'm a big fan of just Lightning Bolting them. Because they also play Gristlebrand, so Lightning Bolting them puts them to 12. And if we draw an Alien, we can go Snapcaster Mage Bolt. So we draw Steam Vents, which is exactly what we needed here. I guess the fetch line would have technically been better, but we'll take it. So now we have access to Snapcaster and Mana Leak. One of the best parts of this deck for sure is probably going to be that Snapcaster Bolt. Which has fallen out of favor for push. And I'm not necessarily sure how right that is, since Snapcaster Bolt is a really powerful combination. Okay, our opponent's Collective Brutality. Well, we could Mana Leak this. There's not much point in Mana Leaking this right now, since it would disguise our hand, but we want the Snapcaster Bolt, and in the graveyard it's okay. Right, so we play Snapcaster, target the Lightning Bolt. And then target our opponent's face. If we draw Colas against command, that's actually going to be really powerful for Pentat Prism. Scalding Tarn is fine too. We're just going to play Tarn here. And I might fetch a basic island very soon. Maybe I should fetch it now, actually. Let's attack first and see what happens, but yeah. Okay, opponent's probably gonna... Is our opponent... Is it charming this? I kind of don't mind an Is It Charm here. That's totally okay. We're gonna fetch the basic island now. We don't have any double black spells in the deck that I remember. Just Damnation, which we're not gonna really cast anytime. So I think the island is fine. Now we do need... I could have also, because our opponent just tapped, lost the Pentat Prism trigger, I could have also just played Tassiger here, which I think was actually probably the best line, was play Tassiger. I think it was a mistake not to. Fotsies. I think it's okay to let this happen, because there's not much, like, we could play Snapcaster and have Leak Up. That might have been the best line, actually, is Snapcaster with Leak Up, but we still have this Tassiger, which puts pressure. So Sulfur Falls. We might as well just run the whole everything here. Tassiger is much better in this deck than it is in Shadow. With the exception of Street Wraith, you have a lot of the same cantrip suites, but you're much more likely to use the ability. This isn't good, but yeah, okay, they have the Free the Reach. We got an Emerald Cooled. Right. Well, we're not dead. We're pretty much... It's pretty much over. Our opponent has 3 lands and 2 cards to our 1 card in hand. This shouldn't be too hard to match up post board. But yeah. Free to Breach being an unfun card, I guess. Right, so we can only fetch so many. We can only fetch 1 land. So I could get a basic island. But with our opponent at 6, we also only have 1. We have 2 Steam Vents. What would I even get here? Would I? While it's super slow, I think our plan is to just fetch end of turn dual land, because we really need the... Oh, our opponent has Tar Pit? Okay, well, that's fine. I didn't see that. That's basically the game right here. Okay, cool. Let's see. They're a combo deck, so this Damnation's bad. Kolaghan's Command is good, okay, because they have Pentat Prism, but Dismember's bad. Spellsnare gets Pentat Prism, Vengeance, is a charm. There's a lot of cards. Push is bad though. We want to shave a bolt. We can keep one in. Terminates are bad. Everything else is fine. Dispel is obviously great. Rejection only gets Pentat Prism. Surgical is probably good. But free is a lot. Brutality is just a bad discard spell, but it is a discard spell still. I'll just put it on the side here. I'd rather have these counter squalls. In matchups like this, it's better for to try to get your opponent to tap out rather than tap out yourself. So we want to operate at instant speed as much as possible. So brutality is not great for that. I might keep the 4th bolt. It's not great though. The Fulminator Mage is probably okay too. Brutality. The problem is brutality. We kind of want to get the creature with it, not the extraction. Sorry. So it doesn't really combo. I might still run it, but it's probably the worst card. Kulian's Command is also awkward in that it is a discard. Like, having them discard is not good for us necessarily. We'll play first. We'll keep this. Not the best hand, but it's fine. Sometimes they run Blood Moon in the sideboard, so that's also a big reason of why I wanted to keep this. Is this hand is a little less vulnerable to Blood Moon. Opponent Malta 6 and topped. Okay. Leyline is Sanctity. Right, well, they also board in Leyline a lot of the time against you, so that's another reason why Brutality might not be great. I don't think Brutality was good, to be honest. There's less stop Kulian's Command and Lightning Bolt, though, so I might have to rethink on the sideboard. Like, it's because these cards are already not great to start with, like, in this scenario, so yeah. Wait, our opponent started with 6 cards. What's going on? Okay, yeah, I just counted the card for some reason. No. Yeah. Thankfully, this doesn't care about Leyline. Yeah, we also have Cryptic for this. It's not a problem. That is true. Fulminator might be okay because they have Tar Pit. Lightning Bolt's also okay. Like, Tar Pit is pretty bad against us. Here... We really need a red source potentially, but I don't want to get Blood Moon too hard. So this is actually a tougher turn than it looks at first glance. Because we don't want to get Blood Moon. So I'm going to play the Taunt, but not sacrifice it. So everybody goes Simian Spirit Guide, although, yeah. They are playing a free color deck. They probably don't have Blood Moon. I think we're safe getting a Steam Vents tapped here. Safe-ish, at least. Right, so Delta. Let's play the Delta here. I mean, yeah, these type of decks sometimes play Moon, but it's pretty rare that the Tricolor version would. Especially if it's fetching Blood Crypt, it's probably not playing Moon. Right, okay, our opponent's a little screwed on lands, which is good for us. Let's fetch something here. We'll get a... I kind of want another blue source, seeing how our deck is like just basically blue cards at this point. So we're gonna get a Watery Grave tapped. We can bounce this Leyline end of turn if we want to, but I'm more tempted to bounce Tar Pit if I'm frankly honest. So our opponent gonna try an Is It Charm here. Okay, we have Mana Leak. That's pretty nice. Okay. Play Island. Don't play the Threats, because we don't want to lose to Izzet Charm into... Actually, Izzet Charm into Vengeance is probably safe. So our opponent Izzet Charms here. I'm okay with this. Yes. It's just a looting effect. It's fine. Double Gristlebrand? Okay. I don't really care about this Leyline. I'm gonna just Cryptic the Tar Pit. If our opponent like Guide Izzet Charms this, I'm not gonna mind really. And then we have the Extraction for the Gristlebrand later. This matchup's definitely rougher than if we had Shadow, because unlike Shadow, it's really hard for us to put much more pressure. So, but then again, Leyline would crush Shadow, so we probably, yeah. But like the fact that Shadow plays Fotsies as a game one would make it much better, of course. Opponent needs to be. I know they have it stop on their own turn, but I'm gonna return this Tar Pit to our opponent's hand. Just to kind of advance through our deck and disrupt our opponent's mana. This should be a telltale sign to them that this card is not good in the matchup. But that's fine. Delta's pretty nice here because we can play Tasigur with Extraction, Snare, and Mana Leak. So I'm gonna play Delta and get a basic island. Then we're gonna play Tasigur. Just one Fred is fine. Just like start getting there. We're in no rush to Extraction the Gristlebrands, by the way. We'll wait until our opponent does something. Right, so yeah, Tasigur on its own is going to be fine. One thing to note, if I don't activate Tasigur's ability, it's probably because I don't want my opponent to go off at instant speed while we're tapped low. Since even the draw 7 is enough. Right, so it'll be our turn. Turn. We want to keep... I'm gonna just play a Swamp here. Since we already have all the blue mana we need. Since I don't want like our opponent to respond to a fetch line crack or something. And I want to access to at least 6 mana because of both. Because then I have access to Tasigur's ability. While keeping up Mana Leak Snare. Slash Snare plus Surgical. It's worth noting our opponent had Fruit of Breach is only counterable with Mana Leak, so we need to be caught. We want this Cryptic back. We need Cryptic protection at some point. So here we're gonna activate Tasigur's ability, which should be safe at this point. Our opponent might do something here to get us Surgical back. Yeah. Okay. So. Opponent Goryo's Vengeance the Gristlebrand. And we're gonna target that. In life. And then if they respond, okay, so their hand is Fruit of the Breach, Pieces of the Puzzle. Okay, this is a very interesting hand. Let's remove the graveyard one because that otherwise will not end well for me. Right, so I'm just gonna take a picture, but it should keep the reveal cards. Right, okay, so they're all exiled. So our opponent is not that far off, comboing off with through the breach, and they right. So we got a surgical extraction. Our opponent's gonna give us Thought Scour. That's fine. At least with Thought Scour we can mill ourselves. We could also, yeah, so we mill a Search and we get a Bolt, which is like the reverse of what we would have wanted here. It's fine though. Okay, so we untap. We could play a second Tasigur, but then the first one dies. So, like to delve our graveyard away. I'll rather just keep this Snapcaster alive. Alright, so attack here. Right. Our opponent's at 11, so we're gonna at some point maybe get rid of this Leyline to bolt our opponent. No need to though. So here our opponent's gonna go for pieces of the puzzle. I could Mana Leak this or Snapcaster Cryptic. I would rather have Snapcaster Bouncing Cryptic command here. So like I'll bounce my actually bouncing my own Snapcaster might be wrong because it's lethal in 2 turns. Although our opponent has a charm. I think we're gonna we have Spell Snare. Yeah, I'm just gonna counter and bounce this Leyline. Let's see, yeah, Cryptic Command. Let's see, we definitely want to counter target spell. And then, do we draw a card? Or do we return Leyline? I think counter, like bouncing Leyline just makes our, it's like if we drew a bolt basically, so. Right, so that's done. Bounce this Leyline. Okay, our opponent's gonna Faithless Looting here. Nope. Okay, they're gonna try for the breach next turn. Right, we're gonna get a Steam Vents tapped. Play this island, attack. Should be fairly safe here. Since our opponent's going to try to free the breach. Unless they like drew land dispel. Okay, they don't have dispel, so that's good. This Mana Leak should do the job. Right. I don't really like Collective Brutality. I'd rather have a... Actually, we're on the draw. Fulminator Mage is kind of awkward. Like, it's good and bad. Like, it's very good. Again, like, just disrupting our opponent's mana is kind of nice. A lot of the time. But it does tap us out. Brutality's not good against Leyline. But the rest of our deck is. I guess we keep in the Brutality, but I'm again not a fan. Because our opponent's shown they're willing to board in Leyline, so like we're walking into our board sideboard plan. I'll keep. Okay, no Leyline. Right, so now the main issue of this hand is we have no disruption if our opponent like decides to combo off. We're gonna dig pretty hard. We're gonna start with Serum Visions actually here. Like normally I would start with Thought Scour, but we really need disruption of some sort, so I'm gonna like Serum Visions for that reason. Because we're looking for very specific cards. Like, I mean, it depends, because like Thought Scouring would be nice to make Tasigur turn 2, but what we can do is if our opponent doesn't showcase like a fast combo. We could take the line of Thought Scouring and tapping out on turn 2, but yeah. This song's not very good. Let me skip it. This is substantially better. Okay, we got Call Against Command for Penta Prism, so that's a good start. I'm gonna start by fetching a Watery Grave. I'm much less worried about our opponent having Blood Moon this time. Right, so Serum Visions. We drew a Thought Scour. Like, Snapcaster Mage is super powerful. It's just not the time for that card. We really need Disruption. So I'm gonna bottom both. We're looking for like Counter Squall or Mana Leak, really. Or Spell Snare. Spell Snare is okay for the early combo, so yeah. So I'm being pretty aggressive with my mill here for that reason. Because I could have taken Snapcaster with a Planted Bolt Snap, but yeah. There's Pentat Prism there, and we can't disrupt this until the next turn. So here... I don't think we can beat Emrakul, so yeah. I'm a fan, though, of playing Scalding Tarn and just passing the turn. We have one Dispel in the deck, so if our opponent goes for it, then our plan is to like just Dispel, which is not very nice for us. Okay, so our opponent's gonna... They Thoughtseize us, which is awkward because they get the information, but we don't want to Thought Scour in response because we don't want them to know. I'm very likely to try and kill this Pentat Prism. Our opponent hasn't like kept their hand and hasn't mulliganed it, and it had no draw in this cards. So yeah. So they take Call Against Command, which means that they really care about this Prism. So that's just relevant information. They're probably on Through the Breach as a plan. We could also Thought Scour them, which is normally bad, but we don't have Extraction, so yeah. 1 second. Let's fetch first. I'll get a... I don't think we're winning for an Emrakul hit, so... I'm gonna get a second Watery Grave. And Thought Scour myself. I don't think we're gonna lose to incidental damage, however. So Thought Scour ourselves, 2 lands, and we draw Tassiger, so... Kind of total duds on all sides here. Jeez, another Thought Scour, and... oh, okay. Right, so at this point we untap and we have Search for a Scanta. Our opponent knows we have no Disruption, although we have Thought Scour twice. So this is actually a really hard turn, because I kind of want to play Tassiger, but we might want to Thought Scour. Like, I think I'm going to just be pretty transparent about the fact that I have nothing. Okay, well, if they have it, they kind of do, and there's only so much you can do about it with this hand. That was kind of unfortunate. We looked for a lot of cards. Okay. But this is like what happens when you don't have Thoughtseize in your deck sometimes. Okay, so they Call Against Commander, which means they probably have the For the Breach in hand. Is there anything I can do about this? I could bluff. That is literally my out, is bluffing. I think that's fine. I think bluffing's good. I could just assume they don't have it too, but if I just represent it, they're potentially not going to go for it. So we have drawn like 3 cards off Thought Scour. That's a lot. They might also put us on Shadow, so yeah. Right, blue, black, red. This doesn't look good because this looks like they're going for it. Like my play is based on I think they have the wrong vents. I'm playing the vents I have. Okay, well, they went for it and we have nothing, so they win probably. They might have, yeah, they have Emrakul. Yeah, there's just nothing we could do here. We tried. We did, like, a counter squall here would have been so powerful. It was worth it. But they're right to go for it because we're going to eventually draw into something, so... Oh, I played the wrong art he hadn't seen. Oh, man. These are mismatching? Right. Good point. Yeah, so our opponent was on 2 cards instead. Yeah. Yeah, there weren't that many outs, to be fair. Like, the deck only plays so many hard counters to reach. Okay. Let's play another match. That game was unfortunate. I still think the keep was right. Game 1 was awkward. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're playing against Lantern. This is Piotr Grixis. So we'd like to play first. So we're against Lantern. Certain Vision is very awkward against Lantern. And 2, the Lightning Bolt and Terminator are bad, so we're going to mulligan. He could obviously be on another deck, but that would be really weird. So I'll keep this hand. What am I again on the play? I don't want Tar Pit. We really need active cards. I mean, it's very likely I'm going to Serum Visions anyways turn 1. So Scalding Tarn, Watery Grave. Our opponent might mill the first card. So what we're going to do is bottom both because they're both awful anyways. That wasn't too hard, actually. that was surprisingly easy. Yeah, there was a chance I otherwise like keep a card I don't want on top because our opponent might mill it. The Inquisition. There's not many cards from Lantern we can Spell Snare. It's a lot of 1s and 3s. Our opponent's probably putting us on Shadow if it wasn't for the Snare, though, which is interesting. Snapcaster. Yep, that makes sense. We're going to play this Tassiger now. There's just no reason not to. I guess like keeping the Visions for the Snapcaster is okay, but yeah, I'd rather have this in play and start trying to get some semblance of beatdown. So Steam Vents, yes, Tassiger. Yeah, the Spell Snare's pretty bad. This is just not the matchup for it. Yep. So we have Cryptic. Right. 2 Lanterns, okay. Mox Opal, oh, that's not good. Ancient Stirrings, okay. The Codex Shredder. So we draw a Cryptic. This is like the last... Oh, they're shuffling our library. Okay. Snapcaster Mage. We don't have a graveyard, but Snapcaster's so powerful that I'm okay with keeping it there. And we're going to attack with this Tassiger. Ensnaring Bridge, okay. Codex Shredder. Right, our opponent's like losing all their cards quickly. Yep, we bin Snapcaster with Kolaghan's Command, which is extremely good here. Except our opponent's going to shuffle our library. Pirate Spellbomb, okay. So they know we're drawing Kolaghan's. Why isn't my opponent shuffling it? Oh, like leave the fetch for that? That's fair, but we're gonna like need it later anyway, so. Lightning Bolt our opponents. Was there a reason they waited here? Blood Crypt? Okay. Yeah, like this, you mean? Right, so we have Delta. Opponent draws a card. They have Inquisition, which is fine because we have this awful spell snare anyways. Yep. Actually, because we're using Tassigur's ability, I probably should have kept the fetch land for another time. Watergrave is fine here. Then we use Tassigur's ability. We have Cryptic on top, which is pretty nice. Opponent gives us Lightning Bolt, which probably shouldn't have cast. Right, so we have Cryptic in the graveyard. Then we draw this awful Spell Snare. Yeah, I guess we do. I'm gonna pay 2 life, and I'm gonna ship the turn here. Yeah, we know we have Thought Scholar on top, so... But a Tentacles Sanctum? Sure, that makes sense. Okay, so our opponent still has Inquisition in hand. So we're gonna do this. Most likely drawing this Thought Scour. I should have kept red out untapped for Steam Vents untapped. That was just a technical mistake. We're getting this Fatal Push pretty much. At least we're drawing Thought Scour here, which isn't so bad. They might mill the Thought Scour, but that seems bad. Although our opponent only has 1 Codex Shredder, so this is actually pretty powerful here. Okay, mills. Probably should have actually not used Tassiger here, since it becomes worse over time. Okay, let's just pass here. Bobble. Right, so we're going to cast Stirrings. They get another Shredder, so yeah. Might have misplayed the turns where we needed this stuff. I might use Tassigur's ability in response to Shredder, but our opponent's probably going to just pass here. I'm happy with, and okay, so they Inquisition us. So at this point we probably have to, well, let's see, if they Inquisition us and we get back Snapcaster, it's bad. So let's see here. I got a Lightning Bolt since it's the only relevant card. Yeah, and they're gonna take a useless card. It's Fatal Push, sure. I could have cast a Fatal Push, but then there's just a snare. It doesn't matter. So our opponent's gonna try to. They're not gonna try. They're gonna mill our Snapcaster on upkeep, and then let us draw this Terminate. We have this Kolaghan's Command, but we're probably not drawing this card. If I build in Tassiger, he can just Inquisition whatever I get back, though. That's the problem. Search. This card is a problem for my opponent, so we're gonna just try and draw it. Right. Now we have to fetch. Mana leak. That's not what we want, but it's kind of an interesting spot. Our opponent can let us draw 1 bolt, but not 2. I'm actually okay with topping both. Right. So they get the second bridge. Oh, Grixis is awkward. We can mana leak this bridge or not? No, opponent has enough mana. Right, so opponent's gonna have to mill this bolt, and we can maybe start using Tasker's ability after this. Yeah, we have, because we're drawing these cards that do nothing, so okay, we're gonna lose the bolts. Pot Scour, Snapcaster Mage. I mean, we could just have this, like just a sequence of cards. Right. Very high chance our opponent tries to Grixis our Snapcaster Mage here. But they're gonna do it. Let's see though. Should I do this end of turn? I probably should have done it in response to the Grixis, but it doesn't really matter. Since a K command. Okay. So right now they have 2 bridges. Our out really is another bolt, so we can definitely lightning bolt end of turn. That much is easy. And then we can let our opponent put the top card. Sure. Tasker's actually okay here. We can delve some useless cards away. Let's see. We can do this now, actually. We can Tassiger and delve away some of these pushes and not relevant cards. It's not going to get better, so we're going to hold priorities. So we're going to cast this for black. And then we're going to delve away. Search is good. Command is... Push is obviously bad, so that's going. Cryptic is... The problem with Cryptic is I kind of need to bounce twice the bridges. So at this point it's really just bridges. It's just bolts. Command isn't so bad because we can get Snapcaster back with it, so it's super good. Like Colligans. They have free... I think the Serum Visions is bad. And I think the Thought Scours aren't great right now. So the rest is okay, because Search for Scanta is just game over. So we're going to lose all the draw, and we're going to keep mono-lethal spells. Right. Cryptic is okay, because we can... Remember with Cryptic, we can... Our opponents have like free life, so Cryptic actually has use, because we can draw a card at instant speed and do some other work. Okay, so we lose Scalding Tarn. Opponents try to get us to a bad card. Oh, so yeah, we don't have any bad cards left. That's great. We could have lost Cryptic, I guess, but I think Thought Scour was worse than Cryptic here. Because they both have a very similar purpose. So our opponent's going to try to get a discard spell now. Yeah, they give us Cryptic, which is the worst one. But otherwise it would have been Thought Scour, because we exiled, like, everything we could have. Like, I would have paid more Delve if I could have. Doesn't really matter. Right. Because now we can bounce... Yeah. Right, but with Cryptic we can always bounce our Tasigur, and it also means that Call Against Command becomes an out again. Right. Grafdigger's Cage. That's just... Right, and we stop a Grafdigger's Cage. That's the other use of Cryptic Command, is this card is no longer, like, a lock, which it normally would be. They also can't let us draw the second Cryptic. Steam Vents? Okay, well, they'll let us draw that. Yeah. Cryptic is much better than Thought Scour just because you have more options. Like, if you notice, our opponent has one Codex Shredder and they have a Lantern. They're gonna draw Needle, which doesn't really do that much here, so... We are at 19 cards, too. Let's see. Is it worth Crypticing anything here? Probably not. That's the problem, is our opponent has Shredder. They're just gonna untap here, yeah. Oh, they're gonna Needle Tasigur? Let me think. No, because we can Cryptic this. And we can bounce this Tasigur. Yeah, we can do that. We can, like, Needle this, bounce Tasigur. So, but then this Grafdigger's Cage becomes non-live. How important is Tasigur going to be here? Like, we can remove... Let's see. Although, wait 1 second. Our opponent has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. So we can bounce its Snaring Bridge 2 here. Since we can Mana Leak and Ensnaring Bridge if needed. But that's... I don't think that's working since we don't have anything else, so... Bouncing our own Tasigur is probably fine to just remove some awful cards. So we're going to counter and return target permanent. So we're going to counter this and return our Tasigur. And then we can lose the Cryptic and the Tasigur and something else. Right, so we both exile. We have a Cryptic on top, okay. We mill the Cryptic. They're gonna let us draw this Sulphur Falls, obviously. Now we're gonna cast Tasigur. Paying Delve by removing this Tasigur. Let's see, how many commands are left in the deck? We should still have the full amount. Oh, we have at least 2 are gone. So I guess Search doesn't get Snapcaster. There is like 1 bolt left. We want to lose these Cryptics. And I guess the Call Against Command gets back Snapcaster, so it's an insta-kill. Basically, because we can... yeah, so we're going to lose the Search. So, like, right now our graveyard is filled with lethal cards. So, while our opponent's kind of low, we're going to do it now. The Search for Sked is kind of a dagger there. I mean, it's right. So we have Snapcaster, and we can. Oh, our opponent has Grafdigger's Cage. Right, I'm being an idiot. Right, focus next time. There's not much. Yeah, that was bad. So I should have instead exiled Snapcaster, or should have Cryptic the Grafdiggers. There's not much I can do. Like if I don't counter it, there's not much that happens. Let's see, I exiled the free Cryptics. Seven could exile Tasigur, 2 snaps. No. Yeah, we're gonna draw this Creeping Tar Pit, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and this Cooling Ends command is gonna be gone. At this point we lose. We'll just let our opponent mill us out. Since we're at 12 cards. Actually, I could just activate Tasigur. Tasigur would get us back both snaps, but eventually we'll run out of them. And of cards, of course. We also have a Fatal Push in the deck somewhere. Second one. Well, Dismember doesn't do anything, and it's actually actively bad because we have Tasigur. Yeah, so we get Snapcaster back. And activate again. We're probably gonna get Dismember back. Let's stop on our turn. Upkeep. Activate Tasigur again. We're gonna lose next turn anyways, so. Right, so there's a Fatal Push there, which is obviously terrible for us. Our opponent's gonna go with Fatal Push. Yeah, we can just cast a Snapcaster. We're gonna lose to 1, 2, 3. Yeah. No matter. Yeah, we're just gonna lose here. I'll concede here. Doesn't really matter. The Damnation tells our opponent what we're on, to be fair. Snare's bad, push is bad. Bolts are fine. We're fast enough. Extraction is okay. Counter Squall is obviously good. Rejection's great. Those decks usually run Whir of Invention, so Dispel can be good. But we haven't seen a Whir, so I wonder. Brutality doesn't really do much. Fulminator, we need cards though, so Fulminator is kind of this awkward card in the middle. Yeah, I think we wanted this spell just in case. And so last card is a Fulminator Mage. Is that a problem? It's fine. Sometimes it does it. We don't want any of these others, so like Brutality seems really bad. It does drain for 2 technically, but yeah, I'd rather just do this. Yeah, they haven't seen a Whir of Invention, but yeah. We're probably playing against one of the best. I actually think we're playing against the literal best Lantern player on the planet. Not that that changes that I played that match super bad. Now our deck should be a little more engineered, though, to beat him. Yes. We're gonna mulligan this hand because we're lacking a land. We'll keep this. This hand's fine. Search is super powerful against them. We don't want a second bolt for sure. Okay, no stops on our upkeep. We're gonna play Delta and pass. I could Lightning Bolt, I guess. I probably should have bolted, actually. Like, I should have Blood Crypt. Alright, so our opponent's gonna Codex Shredder. Welding Jar. Welding Jar number 2. Oh no, he will make... My opponent will make no errors. Alright, so we're gonna get a Watery Grave tapped. No. Now our opponent could have Mox Opal Bridge, literally. But I still want this Search for Scanta live ASAP, so we're gonna just run this out before our opponent can get any discard online. Our opponent probably looked at ours. No, targeted themselves. Okay, yeah, they have War of Invention, so the spell's good. Bulan Mox Opal. Nope, okay, that's good. Cold against Command in the graveyard. It's gonna look super weird if I put it in the graveyard, but I really need mana. And they also have 2 Welding Jars, so this is much worse than usual. Oh, right, our opponent, like, with Search is gonna decide. So we have to figure out if we want to, like, let our opponent Codex Shredder. And you can see the issue of me not bolting on turn 1 is, like, now I can't Snap Bolt. So that was, like, a pretty big mistake, actually. It's, like, compounding a lot of the damage that would happen. Although the chances are we want to keep Counter Squall up anyways. So here... We're going to take damage since it's normally not very relevant. And I don't want our opponent to Counter Squall through, like, to punch through our Counter Squall with us tapped out for no reason. Right, so bolt our opponent. Now we have 4 cards. Right, search for Scanta. We're gonna put Steam Vents in the graveyard. Our opponent's probably gonna mill out the card if we put it on top. So I'm gonna say no. So our opponent mills it. Okay. For X equals 2. What are they getting? I don't really want to know, if I'm frankly honest with you. Yeah, they mill our Steam Vents. And we have this Scalding Tarn. So we should be able to... We're flipping our Search for a Scanta, which is super powerful. But they were probably getting Needle. Also, like, it's a lot easier to counter Wars because otherwise we're in trouble. So here, I'm just gonna get a land tapped. Probably a Water Grave. Yes. No life. So our opponent knows we probably don't have a counter spell. So Search for a Scanta here is gonna flip. I still don't want to put Kill Against Command in the graveyard. No. Our opponent's probably gonna, like, just mill us, but that's okay. Right. It wasn't like that good anyways, because our opponent has like these jars. Let's see what happens here. Another Whir? Let me think. Cryptic can bounce a permanent in play, and Snapcaster's vulnerable to... Snapcaster's very vulnerable to... what's it called? Cage. So, what? Like, I'd rather counter Squall and keep the Cryptic Command for another date. Right. So, yeah. Get the counter Squall. Now, it could be our opponent has Surgical Extraction, but that card isn't very good, so it's possible. Yeah. I'm being screen sniped, really? That's pretty lame. I'm pretty sure he's good enough to not know whether to mill me or not. I don't think Pyotr needs that kind of, like, edge. Right, so Lantern. Yeah, like our opponent basically any artifact our opponent has is going to be really hard to kill because of the Welding Jars. Okay, Spire. Plays Spire. I assume plays Lantern. Now, they have Glimmer and we have Kulligans, but they only have one Codex Shredder. I don't really mind. Oh, Surgical's interesting. Not with the way the game has progressed, but if we ever get a bridge, we can win. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't understand. Like, there's just zero chance that he's doing this stuff, honestly. I can't see it. Like, and the way he's playing, like, clearly he's not sniping me, so yeah. The most important use for Surgical is we can shuffle our opponent's library. But we can if we ever get rid of a bridge, then we're in insane shape. Heavy Needle? That stops search for a Scanta, which is bad for us. Well, we have Cryptic, so that's not so bad. Okay, so our opponent plays Bridge, and they have 2 mana up, so should be fine to mana leak this. Right? 1 second. Let me double check. I'm not being stupid. Yeah, it's fine. Mana leak the... Oh, okay, the chat, yeah. Right, so now we get this Ensnaring Bridge, because we don't want our opponent to draw Needle. And we get to see our opponent's sideboard plan too. Okay, so our opponent has Tezzeret, Angel of Bolas as a sideboard plan. It's very good to know about. They have 4 Inquisition, 1 Cage. They have 3 Tezzerets. So their main sideboard plan are these Tezzerets. Okay. Oh, sorry. Let's remove this too. Okay. And obviously these Welding Jars. There's no counter spells, which is great, of course. Because that can't afford to run a counter. We could Fotscour our opponent, but we're killing him in 2 free turns, so that's okay. I only really care about Tezzeret. It's like the only card that matters right now. Right, so... Counter target spell, draw a card. We could have bounced the Snapcaster, but it's right now it's dealing pressure. Alright, so draw. Right, so we're gonna draw this island, I'm pretty sure. He's gonna be fine with that. Now we attack for 2. And we can play this Serum Visions to threaten to draw Logic Knot. Right. Rejections doesn't counter Tezzeret, so our opponent might want to leave us with this. Well, we don't want Island, so we're just gonna like stack some cards that are awkward for him, like Cryptic. Right. Let's see. I think at this point, like, we only lose to Tezzeret, so I'd rather keep the Fotscour to mill my opponent's Tezzerets. It's fine. We have Search for Scanta anyways. It's not a problem. Fotsies is not a problem. Actually, at a low enough life total, he's going to be forced to keep Fotsies in. Right, so... his hand. So if he draws 2 Fotsies, he just loses. But he can mill them out. What is this? Oh, Codex Shredder back at Tezzeret? Okay. I guess we can get us Thought Scour since the search is bad. Let's see here. I need to do top card. Opponent has Tezzeret. This is tough because we don't want to mill our opponent's Fotsies since it's a pretty dead card. And milling our own Tezzeret's bad. But Tassiger's super powerful, so... What do you think? Tassiger is powerful. We can always, like, Thought Scour ourselves. There we go. We have Lightning Bolt anyways, so that's much better. And then we win. Great. We don't have much time, so yeah. So if our opponent's plan is Tezzeret, this kills a Lily... Oh, wow! Destroy target creature or block Planeswalker. Right there. There we go. That's the card we wanted. Liliana's Defeat. Destroy target black Planeswalker. Come on! Come on. We don't have much time, so I'm gonna have to rush this a little more. I played game 1 too slowly. I think game 2 was fine. Lightning Bolt also kills Tezzeret technically, so yeah. But he can like just plus. Yeah. I don't like the double surgical hands, but we're gonna keep because we have some disruption in Mana Leak, so if we can Mana Leak a bridge, that's pretty good. We actually need this land, so that's okay. I will play this Flooded Strand, and I do not plan to search. Okay, War of Invention. If chat can keep track of the cards, I guess. Okay, so Ancient Stirrings we know about. I don't have like time to track right now, so Spire of Industry, Mishra's Bauble, Mox Opal. Oh god. Hey, Mox Opal. Grafdigger's Cage. Okay, well, this is fine. We want to draw this search for Scanta anyways, so yeah. We have a fetch land. There's just nothing we can do to... Like, if he wants to crack his Lantern to not make us draw the search, that's what... Oh, that's a Fret. We need to really start, like, searching stuff, so... I made a mistake due to slight time limitation. I should have played the Mountain. I should have, like, fetched first. Wow, that was... Okay. Right. It might be like our opponent plays a bridge, which would be very unfortunate for us. So maybe we shouldn't have played the search, because if our opponent plays bridge, we're in trouble. Okay, Codex Shredder. We don't have many frets, though. That's the other problem. And this doesn't get us frets. Do we want to put Cheeking? This might actually be our only fret, so I'm not going to actually put this Tar Pit in the graveyard. Right, so now our opponent has Shredder. We're going to just play this Tar Pit and pass. Cryptic Command? Okay, well, here's a second one. Lantern inside number 2, that's fine. We can Mana Leak this since we kind of are forced to do so, actually, to be fair. Since our opponent can just take the Thought Scour anyways. Okay, so... We're not going to put this in our graveyard, but we are going to Thought Scour Canister. Here. Who might be forced to Lantern. Okay, well, Snapcaster Mage doesn't do that much. Anyways, so that's what it is. And then we draw this. It's unfortunate. Our opponent's kind of tapped out, so we're gonna use this time to Serum Visions. Let's get a Steam Vents. Yes. Snapcaster Mage. Even with the cage, it's fine. It's just it's just a threat. We want to bottom this, and we want to keep Logic Knot on top. Okay. Oh, Surgical, they're Stirrings? Nah, I don't think that's very good. Okay, so our opponent has Whir. Whir is a problem, but we have a lot of mana and Cryptic, so maybe it's okay. If we like Whir there, no. Yes. Do we lose this? I guess we lose the Knot. Okay, so the delta's not great, but it's... The Whir is awkward. We might have to... I don't really want to... Let's see, our opponent has Mox Opal, Inspire. Oh, they have Welling Jar. They're probably gonna Whir at like some awkward time. That's the problem. Right, we draw this. Oh, we have Dispel on top? That's pretty good. We can always, like, Escanta into Dispel, except our opponent has 2 Codex Shredders. Right, so we can Cryptic this Whir. And we can draw a card, which I think is okay here. Yeah, drawing is probably okay. Like, returning a cage is low value here. And we can shuffle as well if the card we draw is not very good. Oh, we drew Dispel. Okay, cool. Yeah, we lose Snapcaster. Or no, they lose Welling Jar. Well, this doesn't matter because we got caged, yeah. Okay, they lose Shredder, Glimmer Void, sure, Bobble. At this point, I'm probably gonna just play Snapcaster for beats. Let me think here. Our opponent's gonna make a 5/5. Okay. Are they just plus? We're just gonna... Yeah. Yeah. Sure. We can get a Kolaghan's command for this, though, so it's not as bad as it looks. We can also, like, just play this Snapcaster Mage and kill the Tezzeret. Let's see here. Blood Crypt. No. Oh, that was bad timing. Right, so let's see here. Could play Snapcaster Mage. I think Snapcaster Mage is not necessary to kill this since we're gonna want to defeat it anyways. Oh, we can just block this, I guess. Worst case scenario. Whatever. 1 second. Oh, I was meant to stop on my turn so I could search for a Scanta here. If I get Colligan's command, then that's not so bad. Yes, there we go. Right, so we got our Colligan's command, which means we can discard our opponent's last card and destroy this Lantern of Insight. Black, red. Right, and then we can attack this Tezzeret down to lethal. And now we have to just attack our opponent super fast. 1 second. I have to remove priority so I can get rid of bridge. Right, so that's fine. Opponent gets stirrings. We want to do this on draw. Want to counter this stirrings on draw. Right, so now we're down to no life basically, so yeah. Okay. Now we just have to Creeping Tar Pit plus Snap Beats. If I had more time, I probably would stop on my turn. Oh, I didn't have a chance to stop on my turn. Whatever. Right. I know our opponent... Right, so we have Dispel in case our opponent draws a Whir, so they have to draw a natural bridge. Which they could, of course, but... Yeah. Right, Whir is fine, we have Dispel. We can't, sadly we can't search for a Scanta. I'm fine with the Swamp here. Swamp's not a problem. Right, so our plan is to Dispel the Whir. Right, and now we're gonna probably a Scanta end of turn. Fotsies? Yeah, that's fine. You can draw Fotsies. You can even play it. Okay, don't stop. Right, I have to just pass the turn. Right, Lightning Bolt is good. It's actually not very good, but it allows us to go a bit faster. If I remember to activate my Tar Pit, that actually would have been good. Right, we're just gonna bolt our opponent. If I had remembered to attack with Tar Pit, this would have actually been really good here. I have to F-do very quickly, rather than skip because the Scant is important. Oh, Whir, come on. Oh. Alright, so I have to Scanta here. Might have to time to attack Ivor. Oh, this is brutal. Should have conceded game 1 faster. Alright, so... Yeah, that's fine. We're away. Can't do anything anyways. Actually, I should have F6 there. Yeah, bridge. Call against command. This is brutal because we win here, but we lose on time. Yeah. That's brutal. We would have won this match given like 10 seconds extra. Oh. Oy. I'm not sure how to count this. Because it's technically a loss for prizes, and I'm fine with that. But we clearly won the match given like 10 seconds on the clock. Yeah. Because like we literally won this game. If I had time to just cast this command, which has 6 modes. Should have conceded game 1 faster. Yeah. Yeah. Depends if Piotr like decides to count this as a loss too. Like. I'm gonna count it as a win, but obviously we lost the game. It sucks. I'm more interested in like how the deck performs like for this stream than the actual. I'll have to leave a note somewhere. Let me see if I can add something. Right. Okay, and then I can. Right. Let's see if I can make this work. Ugh. It's too tiny, so I can't move it. Okay. Right. So. It's too much text. Yeah, that might be the way to do it, up here. There we go. Oh, no. Right, okay. Let's see here. Our opponent captain bottomed. I probably want a Fatscour turn 1, so we're gonna just pay 2 life and disguise ourselves as Shadow 2. They're on burn, this sucks, but yeah. Yeah, that loss was kind of disheartening. Oh my god, Tron. Well, we're gonna Fatscour ourselves. We need to... Lightning Bolt gives us more outs than Fatal Push. Although we did draw Fatal Push. That's awkward. Okay. Yeah. I think that Lantern match was a... Yeah. Yeah, so we had won that match. I'm kind of annoyed from a price tickets point of view, but whatever. Cool against command. Wow, even on the play, I can't stop this expedition map. Yeah, sadly. Okay, well, let's play this Search for a Scanta. Really need a land, and yeah. If our opponent has a second Tron piece, it's almost... Okay, we're just dead. It's basically over. We have 1 Mana Leak in the deck, which we have to start with. Tron. I still need lands too, so... Yay. Right. Alright, our opponent's 7 mana, turn free. That sounds great. Karn. Ah, jeez. Okay. We have Terminate and Push, which are... The Push was a really bad draw. Exile Scanta. Okay, well... I'm gonna redirect this to Karn. Yes. And then I'm gonna fetch a... I guess another Watery Grave. Or actually... We really need triple blue later, so Water is fine, even if we don't bolt end of turn. Actually, I should have gotten Steam Vents and bolted end of turn. Just like, we'd already have a bolt in the graveyard though, so there's if we have Snapcaster, we can still do this. Oh wow, Dismember, really? This is not good. Not good. Well, game 1 is going to be hard once they get Tron into Karn on turn 3. Fought Not Seer. Well, that's much better for us. I didn't... Okay, Fought Not Seer. We can Dismember or terminate that. I'm more a fan of using Dismember on this. We don't have to pay life too. Nah, no life. It's fine. If one wants to take Bolt, they can. Draw a card. I'm seeing a lot of these Tron decks like run Fought Not Seer now. I think the other... Actually, that was a mistake. I should have let our opponent look at our hand, take one of the removal spells, and play the other. That was a big mistake, actually, because now we lose this Cryptic. And we have 2 removal spells, which are bad, so if our opponent takes one, it's totally fine. So, yeah, for reference, you should have let our opponent see the hand and then not let them take Cryptic Command. They took Terminate. Okay, well... Oh, they're on Eldrazi Tron. Okay, we have a much better shot then. Much better shot with Eldrazi Tron involved than the other one. What? We win. What the hell happened? Can they not beat this card? What happened? I have no idea what it just happened. Our opponent conceded like super fast for no reason. They like go turn on turn 3 and then concede, and we did nothing. Okay, so there's a high chance that they're playing Chalice, so Spell Snare is okay against Chalice, but we want this rejection. The Eldrazi Tron's kind of awkward. Drawing a land was too lucky, like, I mean, maybe. Damnation seems great against Eldrazi Tron. Mana Leak is probably fine. Fulminators are important. Spell Snare like only really counters Chalice on 1. Anchor doesn't do much. Counter Squall like gets like map, but it's Eldrazi Tron, so there's a lot fewer targets for it. Like Negate is a less good card. I want Surgical. Surgical with Mage is great if you can get like a Tron piece. But they're on Eldrazi Tron, so that's less important. Fatal Push gets Fought Not Seer, and that's about it. Might still be okay. Might still be better than Bolt, though. Damnation number 2, yeah, we want that. Right, so... Because they have Creatures, Counter Squall is kind of bad, but they have Karn? They're like a weird hybrid version, then. I guess we want, like... I guess we don't want bolts against our opponent. It does kill Karn, but if we're boarding in Counter Squall, then we should be prepared for Karn already. Maybe these Kolaghan commands are good because they only have sorcery speed cards. So if we can get the control lock on them, it's good. Push is weird. Like, Push is only really good against Fought Not Seer. It's like not so good against Reshaper. I don't really like it, especially when we have Damnation. We'll just have the pair bolts. Not the biggest fan, but I think it's fine. Okay. Oh, Modern's good. I mean, I'm straining the format. It's interesting. I think the games are super interesting a lot of the time. That game against Lantern was fascinating. Still like think about it. Okay, our opponent probably just had to go somewhere. I don't know whether to count that as a win or a loss, so I just won't count it. I think that's probably the more honest way of putting it. Is just I'll finish at 4. Because like our opponent went like such an insane opener. They probably just had to go somewhere or gave us the match or whatever. They might have been like, we were 0-2, so they could have been like free losses already. I mean, yeah, I'll take the win, but I mean, like for like record purposes on stream, we'll keep this. Steam Vents probably is not trying to destroy our life total super fast. Steam Vents tapped, so we're gonna use Serum Visions and get a Water Grave. High chance they're on Storm. Like they could like be on Storm without a cantrip turn 1. So we're just gonna pretend we're on Shadow, so that they don't play their mana creature on turn 2, since we have less answers to that. If we think they're on Shadow, Tasticker is gonna be too slow, and I have a Snapcaster. I think Endeavor Visions is good once we know what's going on. Yeah, I'm excited for like Grand Prix Toronto that's coming up. That'll be good. I've already like booked the flight from coming back from the Pro Tour. Steam Vents Pro Tour. It's a bit weird that they didn't take damage and they're playing this mana base. Most likely we're gonna play Steam Vents tapped, so I'm just gonna play the Serum Visions here. I mean, our opponent could Stubborn Denial this, but I'm okay with that since there's way worse cards for us to get Stubborn Denialed here. Like if we get like one of these Stubborn Denialed, we're in real trouble. They could be on Blue Moon too. Remand. I would put the chances that our opponent is on Stormblood pretty high, so we're gonna just play a basic island just in case they're on Blue Moon. But Mana Leak, okay, Mana Leak's good. We're gonna bottom this and top Thoughtscour to have access to more cards. And it works well with our Mana Leak. So just have to hope our opponent doesn't have a mana creature if they're on Storm. Spirebluff Canal is basically telling me they're on Storm. So here they also used up a Remand on a Serum Visions, which I think is wrong. It's probably because we didn't play a land. Right, so here I'm gonna play Steam Vents and we're gonna pay some life. If they have a 4th land, it's kind of awkward and they play the Goblin Electromancer, we can't really kill the Electromancer. Oh, they most likely are gonna Gifts and give it end of turn. I'm gonna Thoughtscour myself here. Search for Scant is okay. Because it allows me to mana. Like, I'm probably gonna have to. I only have 1 counter spell. That's kind of really awkward. I think Mana Leak is basically gonna be as good as Cryptic. Maybe not. Maybe I should pass and have Cryptic up, but I think countering Gifts is important. If they go like for Mana Dork, there's only so much we can do. So I'm kind of a fan of playing Steam Vents on tap for Search for a Scanta, and then if our opponent has it, they have it. Like we can't, like we need 5 mana to basically really disrupt what they're doing. So I'd rather play the Search down and then like win basically if we're in like super good shape if the Search flips. I'm kind of committed to mana leaking this Gifts and Given that's about to come my way. Because we can't beat this card for value. My opponent might have everything they need. If they have it, they have it. Like, you know. Yep, they have it. Okay. Yeah, like... It was a bit clunky. And we were on the draw, yeah. For our opponent passes, we're in... Actually, we're not even that great shape. Oh, okay. This is interesting. Well, the search flips, so we're actually in okay shape. But, yeah. We need to find a removal spell for this Baral. And then, like, we're okay. So, Gifts Ungiven, getting Past in Flame, and some rituals. And then if our opponent has the land, we're kind of screwed anyway, so whatever. Yeah, Past in Flame, Charter Course. Oh, this is a value one. Right, so... we can give them the pass. This is a value pass, so... Click a card to put in their graveyard, okay. I'd rather they have Serum Visions than Charter Course. And Gifts Ungiven. If they have, like, yeah, Ritual Pass, it's awkward. Right, Serum, okay. So, we know our opponent has, yes. Snap Bolt and Kick him up wouldn't have been good, because it's only 4 mana. Do blue decks feel good at the moment? I think they do. I think you should tune them to be a little better against Storm. Do we want to put Pillage Adult in the graveyard? Yes. And we're going to transform for sure. Thought Scour. This is really hard. Because like Call Against Command doesn't get rid of this. I'm gonna fetch now. We only have one black source. I don't know how much damage I want to take. Like a natural grape shot could kill us. I could also get just the swamp. Swamp is actually probably the best one here. Right. So here, kind of need to pass. Like, I could just kill the Baral, but I don't know what my opponent has in hand. And I'd rather... And, like, Cryptic the Past of Flames is also awkward, because we gave it to them in their hand, of course. Let me think here. I could Thought Scour, since I don't think Call Against Command is going to do much. Thought Scouring myself might be okay. Just to see what we draw. Serum Visions? That's still enough blue mana? Yeah. If we draw like a push here, then we can push this and keep Bolt up. We do Scalding Tarn? Okay. I don't like either of these right now. Cryptic is still powerful, but our opponent's going to have tons of mana. So let's see, if they go Ritual free 6, yeah, they can just pass past. If they have 2 rituals, it's bad for us. It is at the point where like Snapcaster bolting this is like kind of weak anyways. The Cryptic's not really doing much. Okay, I have to commit here. I have to figure out, do I think Snapcaster Bolt is our best line? Our opponent hasn't done much, so if they have like another one of these, then Snap Bolt is awful. If they don't, if they have rituals, then I need to Snap Bolt. If they do rituals, let's see, natural rituals would be 2. They would go to 4, let's say, with 2. Then they have 7. They play pass down 3, so it's plus. That might be enough to kill me already. So I think I have to just Cryptic. Yeah, I think I'll lose to double ritual. Even if I bolt the Baral. Right, that's already a good start for us. Like, I'm hoping our opponent has too many of this effect in hand, basically. At this point. So our opponent bottom topped. Right, the first ritual... I probably don't counter the first one. Right, so now I can counter this and bounce the Baral. That might have been a yeah, I think that's okay. And then I can Snapcaster Cryptic the Past in Flames. Right, so here... want us to Alin Tarn looking for an island. And then we can Cryptic the... we can Cryptic the Past, and then we can start Kolaghan's commanding our opponent out of the game. Right, so... our opponent attacks with Baral, that's fine, we can take the 1 here, it's not a problem. We have a Snapcaster Mage in the graveyard and 2 Cryptics, so yeah. Right, so... Snapcaster... get back Cryptic Command... then we want to counter and... do we want to return this Baral? We could return the Snapcaster, that seems fine. Keep the value train going. For our opponent has Remand, this is obviously brutal. Okay, that's fine. Or if they have a second past. They have only 2 pasts in the deck, so normally. Right. So we have another Cryptic Command, so we can just pass the turn again. We're just waiting for the moment where our opponent clearly is out of resources and won't... and there's free gifts ungiven in the graveyard as well, so... if we can get rid of the 2 Past in Flames, we should be in great shape. We are at 10 though, so... we don't want to get naturally grape-shotted here. Right. So here we want to... return target creature and make them discard. So we're going to return Snap and make our opponent discard. And then we're going to search. I could do this in another order. I'm just conscious of time now. Yeah. Make them discard. Steam Vents? Okay. And then we search for a Scanta. At this point, our mana is more constrained than cards, but if we can get like a Fatal Push or Dismember for this thing, it'd be good. Oh, Lightning Bolt works. Lightning Bolt's good. Right, so now we can just board this Baral. Basically, we just don't want to get grape-shotted out of the game. That's all that's going on now. Right. So we're gonna like bolt this Baral now. Or then we're gonna Kolaghan's Command. We don't have a creature, so I might do something. I might Cryptic instead. No, we just win with these snaps. Or I might like Lightning Bolt the second Baral they have, actually. Right, so Lightning Bolt this. Then we pass. We just don't want to like let our opponent have a Gifts Ungiven. Or at least if they do it like at the end of their own turn. So then we can counter their Past in Flames. Right, so here, let's see, we want to, let's see what we want to do here. Probably search is okay. Snare is super strong against that deck. Right, so we're gonna, let me see. We can just pass and discard search. And then end of turn, we're gonna go Bolt, Snap, Bolt. Search. Or like, at least, yeah, right. Side hand's fine. We want to minimize the amount of spells so they can't natural grape shot us, because that's just where, like, pain lies. Right, so... Snapcaster Mage. Target Lightning Bolt. Actually, I should have targeted Kolaghan's Command to make our opponent discard a card and not get a critical mass. But I wanted to search for a Scanta as well this turn. Right. They might have the last Gifts Ungiven in their hand, which is what it is, but that's fine. Right, then we draw. Yay, land, which we'll not pay life for. Right. Right, so now we have Call Against Command, Bolt, Snap, Bolt, which is 8 damage. Right, so at this point, we're just going to make our opponent discard a card. Take 2. Noxious Revival? Okay. We could search for Scanta again, I guess, instead. Just draw into more like cryptic style effects and... Well, we want to kill our opponent like close to one shot. Kolaghan's is fine. I could have taken Fatal Push too to kill a mana creature. Play Scalding Tarn. Right, and now Bolt, Snap, Bolt, like, this is all, like, pretty close to lethal. Right, so opponent plays Baral. We can snare this, which I would be inclined to do here. So our opponent just doesn't have the extra mana. So that Storm is 2. We'll just be careful here. I don't want to build Storm up to 9. That's the, like, dangerous number. Right. Okay, so Lightning Bolt, Snapcaster Mage, target Lightning Bolt. Yeah, we win. Okay, cool. Winning game 1 against Storm is great. We did well. I mean, if there's a matchup for Surgical, Fulminators are kind of nice because they can't stack up mana, but we're against Storm. We're probably going to be running out of cards to board it anyway. Because like almost all the deck is good against them, except Kolaghan's Command. Kolaghan's Command is kind of like awkward because it doesn't really kill that much. We want to avoid an Empty the Warrens. Because of Empty the Warrens, I might actually board in this Staticaster. I don't want Damnation, but Staticaster's fine. Kolaghan's is probably... We want to shave a few. Spellster is pretty good. Searcher Scant is like one of the best important cards in the deck. We can shave a Cryptic. Cryptic is pretty slow and inefficient. Because this deck has 4 bolts, we can cut some pushes. We can definitely cut the Terminates actually before pushes. So we can put 1 back in. I could board it in an Anger, I guess. 1 Anger might be okay, just to make sure we don't get emptied. It's pretty bad though in like every other scenario. They are very empty. Strategy is very popular. We'll lose the push and keep the bolts in, since the bolts are probably better. Oh, sorry, we'll lose the Dismember and keep the push in. Okay, moving on. Oh, Brutality. Brutality is a discard spell. It's always been awkward. Like, if you can kill a 2/2, it's great, but like tapping out is bad, especially since our deck is set up to not tap out otherwise. Is it better though? It's probably better though for against empty than some of these other cards. I think we can shave down to 1 Kolaghan's Command. Like post board, like we know our creatures aren't getting removed, so we don't need as many Kolaghan's Commands. Also, Cryptic is good, but like 4 is a lot. Right, so keep this hand. Surgical's really nice. We also know that they could run Blood Moon, so I'm probably gonna like fetch an island with this, even though like we might need a red source. There's no rush for the red. It's only for Lightning Bolt, and yeah, there is an Anger, so it's a bit weird to get basic island when you board in 1 Anger, but. We want to bottom the mountain, and the Cryptic's fine because we have a lot of early interaction. Right, so... Yep, we do not, unfortunately, have anything to do to kill this. So it's just going to resolve, and that's kind of the end of the story. I think I'm just going to, like, keep blue-black up. And that's it. But yeah, you need a way to kill these mana creatures. If we draw Anger, like, it's awkward that I played a Swamp, but... yeah. We do need, like, triple blue for this, so this is probably going to have to be Steam Vents. We'll just see what happens here, though. I am also totally fine with playing Snapcaster Mage here to block. Yeah, we'll do that. Because we have Tasigur, so this empty shouldn't be too good. If our opponent remands this, that's kind of okay. Like, remand is much more brutal against us later, so this is, like, fine. It's awkward if our opponent has Ritual Empty. Okay, they don't. That's interesting, then. Spell Snare, okay. We're gonna play Scalding Tarn and pass. Now our opponent knows we have Snap, so if they attack, that's kind of a big telltale sign. We just want to watch out to not get Blood Moon too hard. Like, a little bit is okay, but not too hard. Pyritic Ritual. I could Spell Snare this. If our opponent goes empty for 4, it's okay. So I'm okay with the first Ritual resolving, since we have Counter Squall for something else. If our opponent has Remand, we have Spell Snare. Yeah, they're gonna empty for 4. I'm okay with this empty because... Or Baral. Let's see, they have 2 red left. Do I care about... The Baral might be too much. Yeah, the Baral is probably too much. If our opponent has, like, land empty, this is really bad for us, though. We need to stop this now. If we don't stop this, we're probably losing to empty, so... Steam Vents, yes. And then we're gonna Counter Squall this. Grape Shot for 5? Okay, well that's fine. I mean, we're not at like tons of life, but this is okay. We go to 6, okay. Let's see, do we... I don't want to take damage from this. We could also exile their Grape Shot later. So I'm not worried about too much here. I guess Tasigur is okay, but then we don't have counter protection. But we're going to take damage. I could play Snapcaster with Tasigur. I think that's probably the best. And then we're going to aim to get this Grape Shot later. Oh, right. I can't play Tasigur here without losing everything. That was silly of me. But I don't want to stop, because like our opponent only has 4 lands. I think it's fine for us to just play Tasigur and keep Surgical Extraction for Grape Shot up. I should have actually surgical the grape shot before I moved on, because then I can see my opponent's hand and make sure no shenanigans happen. Okay, they have. Yeah, let's remove this. Should have cast surgical first. Yeah, and delved it. That's correct. Right, empty gifts passed. Right, let me just take a picture for myself. Right, so we lost the grape shots. What did they board in? They board in a wipe away. They board in 2 blood moons. They board out a gifts ungiven, and they board in 4 pieces of puzzle. Okay. Right, so our opponent has empty gifts passed. So as long as they don't draw a ritual, we should be okay. They can't attack, and their hand is pretty... If we kill this Goblin Electromancer, we would actually be in good shape. Because we have like Snapcaster for like the world. Surgical... Well, there's nothing wrong with surgical here. I could attack with Tassiger since my opponent knows we have Snapcaster. I'm okay with this. This is fine. Like, us being at 2 is not a horrible thing since they don't have Lightning Bolt in their deck. We can, like, basically Cryptic Command one of their Electromancer back, and then Snapcasters can counter the Electromancer, and it's lethal pretty quickly after that. Okay, well, opponent's at 12. Blood Moon. So that was the card they drew. So that's actually perfect. We can counter that spell, and we can return target permanent. So we can counter this and return Electromancer. Or, one second. Or I could Snapcaster Counter Squall this. Is that better? Our opponent's at 12. One second. If I Snap Counter Squall this, then our opponent's at 10, and they're kind of forced to block the Snap. Yeah, that feels better. Yeah, the most pressure possible is good. Right, so Blood Moon's counter. Our opponent could attack, but that would be really bad. Right. Let's just play this Mountain. It's fine. Attack with both. Yeah, there was a key turn where our opponent like basically didn't do anything that gave us a shot. Well, this is... yeah. I mean, if Storm was popular, Grixis control would be much better in blue-white, I feel. Okay, our opponent didn't block, sure. Opponent's at 4. Well, based on their hand, we should be fine since we have pieces of the puzzle. Well, we know their hand. Their hand is empty gifts passed. So if we Cryptic Command countering this and returning this Electromancer, our opponent's dead. Which is pretty good. Right, so... right. Well, we're 2-1, I would say. Since our third match, our opponent just went card turn free, fought not Sierra Battery Shaper, and then disconnected when they were way ahead. Or like lost. And against Lantern, it was like, I mean, it was a loss registered, but we were within 15 seconds of winning the match. So, yeah. Yeah, tomorrow's Dredge, and I have a guest on, which is actually pretty awesome. Zen plays Dredge a ton, so unlike every other deck, which I have to play cold on my own and just try to figure out as we go, Zen's actually pretty good at Dredge, so he'll help me not screw up massively and have better lines. And we can all benefit. Because I'm playing all these decks cold, so I'm gonna obviously play a lot worse than anyone else should, due to deck knowledge. Like, clearly, I mean, like, playing Grixis Control, I made a lot of mistakes, which I've already pre-spotted. Which probably wouldn't happen if I ran it for a second league. Which I'm not yet sure on whether I'll do or not. Okay, so I think I know Staples. Might be on Eldrazi Tron. I mean, the big Emrakul is already... I think he used to run Eldrazi Tron. 61 cards. Okay. Right, so we're on the draw. That's Scred list? Jeez. That's not even Scred, that's just like all in red basically. You'll have to convince others that they wanted to. I'll let it go to a vote potentially, but yeah. Yeah, okay, Eldrazi Tron. Okay, well, I think it's Eldrazi Tron rather than regular. I know what he's playing rather than any actual insight. Okay, so I could play Tar Pit here, but I think like if I could like being able to Tassiger on turn 2 is actually pretty big. So that's what I'm gonna aim for. Is let me think. There's not many counters I can have. So I'm gonna like probably, let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. Yeah, so I could also Serum Visions first, but I'll probably Thought Scour first. We'll just pass and Thought Scour first. See what random card we draw first. And that allows us to also keep a card in the graveyard for a Snapcaster in the future. Right, so Chromatic Star. Okay, this is just regular Tron, not Eldrazi. Green black most likely. We really need this Tassiger online quick. Our opponent probably doesn't have the last Tron land because they would have cracked maps, so they're probably just waiting a turn to see what they draw. So probably, let's see, Watery Grave or Steam Vents? We probably want Watery Grave because we're looking for blue black mana right now. Thought Scour ourselves. Right, so lose the Damnation. We also lost... We played 2 Steam Vents, right? Yeah. Okay. So... Okay, well, there's the second one. I don't need to particularly keep any of these cards. I guess I could keep the Thought Scour, but I'm okay with playing the Steam Vents on tap, going Serum Visions and Tassiger. Right, so we have more than enough lands and more than enough draw. So I'm gonna lose both of those. Right, we want Tassiger online. Yeah. We need to get this Kolaghan's. If our opponent lets us kill this Expedition map, I will instantly blow it to smithereens. We might also just make our opponent discard a card since they're very card light. I will probably proactively make them discard. But let's see what happens first. Okay, they're cracking the map. That's unfortunate for us. There's this tower. Well, they need to play a land first. Relic of Progenitus, okay. I kind of want to carve. I know, like playing the command super, like having the cryptic command. It should be there. Visualdecklist.com. Suggestion from Frank Karsten. Right, so I don't want my opponent to draw a card off this, so this is an opportunity to card starve our opponent. Although you really want Cryptic Online super fast against Tron, I think like here card starving is like a really good way to potentially win a match. We shouldn't pre-board, especially on the draw. Opponent did mulligan, of course, but Blood Crypt. We have a lot of blue, so I'm gonna get another Watery Grave. Yes, and then we're gonna call against command. Target player destroys a card, discards a card, and destroy an artifact. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame we have Tar Pit for Cryptic Command. Like, we would really want to have Cryptic unlocked, but I really want to make sure our opponent has no cards. Llanowar Waste, okay. Like, chances are we're not getting a good card. That's the problem. Right, our opponent plays the last piece or not? Sylvan Scrying. Ugh. If we don't have Cryptic up next turn, we are in insane trouble. Actually, a call against command might be okay. Oh no, they have star? Okay. Sphere. Mana up or? Okay. Why would you do this? Like, you don't know if... Like, I mean, you could think I'm on Grixis control, but there's a chance I'm also on Death Shadow, and then, like, drawing all these cards is bad if I have Thoughtseize. We really need an untapped land here. That is... It's nice, but it's not an untapped land. We're gonna Serum Visions first, hope to draw into the 1 mana leak, just to make sure our opponent can't do something totally silly next turn. But we only have 1 leak, so Spell Snare. Well, that's just not on time. Bottom both. I don't think keeping Spell Snare up is particularly relevant, so we're just gonna play the Search, Creeping Tar Pits, and attack. Actually, I probably should have played the second Serum Visions and just really dug as deep as I could have. But I really wanted this on. So now we're like vulnerable. Oh, this is super bad for us. Opponent has Karn. We know this was searched. Opponent's thinking, which is probably not good. Oblivion Stone. I can live with this. This is like a card I can totally live with. It kills Tasigur, but that's fine. Like, on the grand scheme of things, like, having access to Cryptic is much more important. Like, if we get to untap and there's no threat, that's good. Oh, 7? No, that's Karn. That's gonna do it, probably. Oh, Wormcoil? Wormcoil is a card you can beat. Because we have Call against command. And Terminate. We do need to draw one of these cards, but it is much more beatable. Sulphur Falls is an interesting one. Because I'm kind of going to probably Cryptic the Oblivion Stone and bounce the Wormcoil. And I'd like the Serum Visions here, but we want cards in our graveyard. Although, that makes sure that the Serum Visions goes in the graveyard, so I'm not going to put the Sulphur Falls in the graveyard. And we're just going to play Serum Visions here. We want to bottom this Snare and bottom this Strand. And then we just pass the turn. Yeah, because we know that our opponent has Stone. Like, I could have... Actually, I could have kept Sulphur Falls and done nothing. I just had Snapcaster Kolagans. But we really want to counter the Stone and then... Actually, I should have kept the land because then we have Snap Cryptic. That was wrong. I should have kept the Flooded Strand on top. Although, actually, 1 second. Cryptic. Map is fine. I mean, it's not, but there's not much I can do about it. Realistically, this is not what I should be countering right now. Right, so sack the map. Probably get a Sanctum of Ugin. Yes. So plays the Sanctum, has 2 cards. Should attack first. Right. So our opponent goes back to 18, which is frustrating, but is what it is. But yeah, I should have kept the land for Snapcaster Cryptic. Oblivion Stone. So we want to counter Oblivion Stone, probably. And return Worm Coil. This puts us at 5 cards. So it's 1 short of where we would want to be. Yeah, so like we bottomed all these lands. No, we're not going to put Delta in the graveyard. We actually really wanted that. After all these misplays, we get lucky. Right, so attack with Tasigur. Then we can Snapcaster Cryptic. Oh yeah, Gear Hulk? Yeah, Gear Hulk would be fun. Torrential Gear Hulk. Right, so we go... Wait 1 second. We need to sack this. We get a basic island. Then we Snapcaster Cryptic, draw a card, and we're going to try to... If our opponent plays a card, we're going to try to draw into a Kolaghan's Command, or something of its ilk to... Right, Snapcaster. Cryptic Command. I could also bounce the Snapcaster Mage. But I don't have a counter. Like, if I had another counter spell, I would, but I don't think Kolaghan's Command is really enough to, at this point. Counter target spell, draw a card. I think we need to, like, get through more cards in our deck. Right, terminate, well. Sylvan Scrying, well I can't counter that with my Spell Snare. Opponent has how much mana? Ghost Quarter, okay. Well, if you want to Ghost Quarter me and make search for Scantalive, that's total. Oh, okay, right. Ghost Quarter to have an answer to this search. I could have activated Tassigur's ability upkeep. Yes, we want to put Island in our graveyard. We have more than enough lands now. Put has 1 card. We bought him a lot of lands so far. I might as well do this one though, just to like make sure we don't disrupt Serum Visions. Actually, that was our last. Oh no, that was our last basic. No, we have a swamp still, right? Yes. Right. Oh man. Oh, we can't draw this bottom. I wish we could draw this Logic Knot. So Terminate is being instant speed is very relevant usually. Right, so... Right, Creeping Tar Pit activates, and we attack. I could activate Tassigur's ability too and get back his Serum Visions, but I don't think that's great since we have Logic Knot on top when we really want that card. I may actually accept that Ghost Quarter destroys my land and I don't get another because I want to keep the Logic Knot on top is very strong. If our opponent draws air this turn, of course, only. Even an Oblivion Stone is not the end of the world. So I take this hit, go to 8. Yeah. Now they have one card in hand. Yeah. Yeah, I really want that Logic Knot on top. I mean, it's a trap. It might be a trap though if our opponent has something. Okay, they don't. We get Logic Knot for a lot. Right. So now this is great because Search for a Scanner will flip. No, and we will transform you. So now I can play this Blood Crypt without paying life and like just attack. And now we're in great shape because we have Logic Knot and Search potentially for a Cult Against Command or not. That's fine. If our opponent could Ulamog, that's why like this search is important. Like they could Ulamog our Snapcaster and Tasker, but they don't have it anyways. Okay, so Tron, we want Fulminators, we want Counter Squalls. Surgical is kind of weird. It's like not the card you want, but like if you ever get a Tron piece with it, it's unreal. Because then you like just win. Brutality is not that great. Rejection is obviously very good. So Fatal Push is awful. We can cut a Bolt. I'll cut the non-textless one. We can cut a Dismember. Well, we have to, I think. We can cut the Damnation. So basically, the way the spell snares are awkward because they only get Sylvan Scrying, but they're really important in getting Sylvan Scrying. Okay. I really like being able to like Thought Scour, but they're gonna keep in their relics. That's the problem. But if you can ever Thought Scour them and get a Tron piece with Surgical or like Fulminator, it's super strong. It's unlikely, of course. How much we should go for that is also a good question. It might be better than one of the bolts. We'll give it a shot. And like, it's always okay to look at what their sideboard plan is. The Terminate, we can also cut a Terminate. Actually, we could cut both. We have commands for their Wormcoil, so we can have the extractions. I don't think they're good at all. I don't want this many extractions. Sorry, I'll take the other one in. I'd rather have free Lightning Bolts and 2 extraction than free extraction 2 bolt. I just realized Terminate's not good, not necessary because we have commands for a lot of the artifacts, so we don't need the hard removal spell here. We'll submit. Snare's awkward, but I think we keep it because it's so good on the draw. Nice. That deck needs more Snapcaster mate. We need to mulligan this, sadly. Not a very good hand. We can keep this one though. Do we want Tarn? Let me think. We're on the draw. We're probably gonna have Counter Squall up. We do want lands because we have Snapcaster Mage, so I'll keep the Tarn on top. And we have some interaction. We do lose a little hard if they have Tron into Wormcoil, but I think it's worth taking the risk here. Even though we have Thought Scour, I'm more tempted to play Tarpit. I want to make sure our lands come into play untapped, and we can always land a Thought Scour on a turn we don't want to counter something. Right, Sylvan Scrying. Yeah. The window on Snare has basically expired. Okay, we have Thought Scour. Power Plant Tower. Right, so here... I'm gonna play Scalding Tarn and pass, just to disguise a little bit that we have something. We're definitely getting a blue source of some sort. Right, so Power Plant, most likely. Might get another Water Grave, actually. Let's see. What is this, Oblivion Stone? Do I really care about Oblivion Stone? Not really. I don't really care about Oblivion Stone. We can kill against commanded later. And we only have like 2 permanent, like, yeah. Okay, so we could, yeah, I think we should get a Watery Grave here. Then Thought Scour ourselves. Fulminator is very good here. I guess we Thought Scour ourselves again. Okay, so we grew the Surgical, which means that we can play Fulminator and Surgical Plant, or a Mine, whatever. That's really strong here. Yes, we're definitely playing this. This is like a very old Modern plan. Right, so... they search for power plants, so chances are they might have another Mine. And then I'm gonna Surgical on draw step to get more information. So stop on opponent's turn is locked in, right? Let me double check. Stop on opponent's turn. Yes. So we're gonna do it on draw step because there's very few cards that Tron can have here to protect them from this. Right. Right. They had a Mine. Here's a Mine, and then they're gone. All this is gone. Bye-bye. Right, I'm gonna Snipping Tool their deck, which I haven't done in the past, and I should have. Whenever you, like, online, it's such a big advantage to be able to do this. Just have their deck on the side, and their hand, too. Their hand is... I wish we could, like, note down the cards. But, yeah. So, I can note it down on Snipping Tool, I guess. Chrome. Stone. Engine. X2. And C's. Right. Okay. And then we have their hand. Okay. So, all of these are exiled. Yep. Yeah, so I think that's an okay plan against Tron, but they normally keep in, like, they only have and keep in all 4 relics. Oh, our opponent only had 2 relics, so they probably cut it down. They have infinite threats, though, so yeah. At some point, we want to call against command back Fulminator Mage to keep destroying our opponent's land since they're very land light. So our opponent Thoughtseize is here, which is whatever. So they lost their Chromatic and their Seas. Yeah. Yeah. And I have Snapcaster Mage with access to all these cards as well, which is a lot. Yeah, the opponent takes Snapcaster, which I think is sensible. We're gonna play Creeping Tar Pit here and pass. We're down to 3 cards, and we don't have pressure, so that's kind of awkward, but we should be fine. Right, we want to counter the Stirrings, because it's potentially a land. At this point, you can just Mana Denial them pretty hard. Right, and now we have Cryptic and Logic Knot. Right, so... I could attack, but I'd rather just keep the Cryptic up and bounce my opponent's Power Plant if needed. Or even Llanowar Waste is pretty brutal. We're gonna return the Llanowar Waste, and we're gonna draw a card. Right, we have our Search for Scanner, which is amazing. And Polluted Delta, sure, why not? Right, like this. Oh, that was bad. Sorry, I have Logic Knot. Alright, it's fine. I have Delta, so that's why I didn't think too hard. I was like, I have like mana I need, but I shouldn't have. I should have tapped the Blood Crypt. Since our opponent knows our hand, this is just no bluffing value or equity. Right, so they play. Right. If they play Stirrings, we'll Logic Knot it. Nothing else really matters. Map. Oh, okay. Map might also get affected here. Right, we're taking damage for no reason here. Let's get us... Can't just get an island though. Island is fine. We want to logic knot this. They need to pay 2. Yeah. Like we just don't want them to get to like the point where they can get more lands. That's all. Fulminator Mage in the graveyard, no. And we're gonna transform the Ascanta, yes. We don't have to Fulminator right away. I could wait until I get another land and have it with Ascanta. So yeah, I could just wait here. And like go cryptic draw and then like have Fulminator with Ascanta up. That's probably better. Right, so Sylvan Scrying. Although we now have to counter Scrying that maybe we wouldn't have to. Counter target spell, draw a card. Yeah, maybe that was bad because or countering a spell we had no need to if we Fulminated that land or our waste. Whatever. Our opponent's like done. Right, well that was kind of hard fought. So free 1. Turned out that surgical extraction was super powerful. Who knew? Like okay. Yeah. So it's a bit weird to go free 1. I think like yeah, the Lantern match we would have won, and the Tron match probably would have lost game 1 at least, but our opponent just left. So if I'm honest though, it just felt like a slightly worse version of Shadow. And a slightly worse version of Blue-White Control. Like, I think if you want to be Control, then Blue-White is probably better. And if you want to be like a little more aggressive, Death Shadow's better. I think you could change the Blue-White... Like, I think where Grixis shined more was... Like, that's the thing, right? Like, it kind of had game against most decks, though. So, like, against Storm, it was worse than Shadow, but better than Blue-White. And against Tron, it was better than Shadow because you had access to more sideboard hate, but it was worse than Blue-White would be. So it's kind of like this weird spot in the middle. It's definitely like it was worse against Lantern, but not so much. I think like both Grixis and Shadow are both versions of Grixis are good against Lantern, whereas Blue-White against Lantern sounds like awful. Yeah. Yeah, Thoughtseize is good, but like to give you an idea, this Grixis list just doesn't run Thoughtseize, which is kind of unreal, but it makes sense because you're trying to like deal with what's on the board, and you have like all these commands and cryptics, so you're not trying to like operate resource light. You're trying to like let your opponent kind of do their thing and just stop them at the right moments and then go over the top. I just think that both Shadow, Grixis Shadow, and Blue-White are both good decks that are well positioned in Modern. And it feels like Grixis Control is like kind of like this middle option. I think it was fine. I think you could run it. I also thought it was harder to play than either of the other two decks. I felt like the decisions were a lot more difficult. Maybe that was lack of experience, but yeah. I really like the search for Scanta. I wouldn't be opposed to running the third one if I'm frankly honest. Because I think the card is so good that having a multiple isn't the end of the world, and you have so much card advantage you can make up for that loss if that card flips. As to what you'd cut for it, it felt like removal is pretty important. Like Snare seemed pretty bad in the current metagame, so I'd probably cut a Snare for a search if I'm honest. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well that's it. Let's at least open the treasure chest. I think that we've earned that one. So let's see what we get. Pure Steel Paladin. That's gotta actually be worth something. Although a little less. You'd think like Death Shadow's hard to play, but Shadow's like a lot. I don't know, like. The thing with Shadow is it's almost always correct to take damage from your own lands. So, like, it removes, like, the mana-based difficulty aspect a little bit. Like, because... Okay, so this is, like, less than a ticket. So it's whatever. So yeah, so like the meta base is a lot less hard for Shadow if I was gonna put it up. This isn't like the best, like this is the version we ran, but I'm not convinced it's that great. This should definitely run 4 Street Raves over at Dismember. It ran a Cryptic, but yeah, I think 4 Street Raves is just mandatory, so I'm just gonna change that now. Oh, that's other products. Okay, that's fine. Rafe. Yeah. Cool. Right. So, like Shadow feels like this should also run 4 Serum Visions rather than the Ops. We had a split to try it out. Serum Visions. Right. Right. So it felt a lot easier because like you need to take damage, so you get your untapped duels. Like Inquisition and Thoughtseize are very powerful cards. So like you kind of like, as long as you understand how Modern works, then because you Thoughtseize, you can kind of plan everything in advance. So like you can take damage from lands, so your mana base is a lot easier. You can like look at your opponent's hand and get like a lot of information, so you can plan ahead on the games. And your deck is inherently powerful, right? Like worst case scenario, you're gonna get like a 6/6 for 1 mana and play. Like how bad can it go? While with Grixis control, first you don't know about your lands because like maybe you can't take damage. It wasn't so bad in the games we played because they were like pretty not like linear matchups. But like it's not obvious that I have to take damage. Like if we were ever against an aggro deck, like the damage is actually a really relevant part. Even against Storm, like it's starting to get a little excessive. You also have to determine like when to turn at the corner. Like with Shadow, how you want to beat down because you have Thoughtseize effects. So you're not gonna win like if you give your opponent like tons of time. So you need to like discard. It's a mid-range deck. So you discard an attack. Well, this deck you have to figure out when you turn the corner. Like when these lightning bolts stop being like against creatures and start going face, and then snap bolt. And like how do you turn that corner? And also your mana is much more constrained. Like even like turn 7 and 8, you still have lots to do. You're probably favored, but how you lock that game is really complicated and not certain. So I would honestly argue that Grixis control is harder to play than Shadow for those reasons. Your meta base is harder to know because you don't know what's going on necessarily in front of you. Turning the corner, cards are conditionally good. So Thoughtseize is just universally incredible. While like, what do you do if like your Serum Visions turn 1 and you see like Spell Snare? Like you don't know if it's good or not. It's not possible to know because you don't know what your opponent's playing. Like it might be the best card if they're like on a Goyf style deck or like on Storm, or it might be an awful card if they're like let's see, like say Humans and they go Vile turn 1 or something. And that's, well, maybe not Humans is a bad example, sorry. I mean like there are some decks like they're on Eldrazi Tron or something, or like, and they don't have challenge. Like this is what I mean is like you don't know if the card's good or not. I think like the fact that the commands help a lot because they're super universal and they give you a lot of flexibility. So like, but like think about it this way, right? You're also playing 4 copies twice of a card that has 6 different modes fundamentally. Like Kolaghan's command can use all 6 modes and Cryptic as well. Like which ones do you use? So like that's why I think that Grixis control is a much more skill intensive deck than Shadow. Well, actually they're both pretty skill intensive, but I feel like Grixis is like above that. Yeah. That's my summary. I think like you're better service playing Shadow or Blue-Eye Control, honestly, and like picking one of those. But it's not, I think this is like a pretty fun deck. I definitely wouldn't fault you for running it. Like, I'm kind of done for today. Like having a lighter day today is good. We had some pretty good streams the last couple of days, but like I'm good with like chilling for a bit tonight. Rather than like running the control deck for the league. Also tomorrow is like a guest stream, so it's gonna be pretty intense. So yeah, at same time start with and we're gonna be with Zen Takahashi to run through Dredge. So he reckons Dredge isn't well positioned at the moment, but it's a very interesting deck, and I'm looking forward to playing with it tomorrow. That kind of sums it up. Again, if you haven't followed my channel, do so please. If you have, that's great. Let's see. You can check. You probably by this now you probably know, but you can always check my schedule. The link is on my Twitch stream. Like basically, it's in the description, and there's like all the decks in there. So like there's a spreadsheet, a link to all the decks, all the time slots. So far, you can check all the video on demands on my Twitch channel. Probably over the next day or two, they will start going away. But I am looking to upload all these videos to YouTube. So you get to, I'll make sure that you always have access to the content. Well, as much as I can, right? So yeah. So tomorrow, Dredge, I hope you really enjoyed basically Cory Burkhart's Grixis control. I thought the deck was really cool for what it's worth. Definitely a contender, but probably... I'd say this is probably not a, like, you could commit to playing this deck, but I would say this is not like, this is like tier 1.5 if I was going to use it. Like, I don't think this is like top of the format, but it has game against all the decks, and has a decent game plan. It's not really a cold to anything. It's just probably a tiny bit weaker than other options that would be more committed and more proactive. But yeah, it's also super difficult to play, so if you want to play this, like, I picked it up cold and it was really hard. I suspect it'll be hard for a lot of people. So, I think if you play this deck at any serious event, like if you play like FNM or something, it's fine, like just run it. But if you like want to play this like at a Grand Prix style event or like a Star City or Open or whatever, or like a local tournament series, like in Modern, I would not run this cold. I would practice this pretty hard before running it. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I really want to thank everybody that tuned to the stream. That was awesome, as usual. A little shorter today, mostly because one of the games didn't appear, and I'm not feeling up for another league, to be honest with you. But I hope you enjoyed it. I really do. And tomorrow, Dredge with Zen, and that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this version of Grixis Control. If you want more information on this deck, I highly suggest following Cory Burkhart. I will tweet about this deck at the end of my stream, and I will link Cory again, so you can get his handle that way. But it's pretty much Cory Burkhart, so it shouldn't be at Cory Burkhart, so it shouldn't be too hard to find him. And he kind of like made this happen because this was a voted deck, and this by far was the most popular deck. So yeah, there we go. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye bye.